We're here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bringing news just for you. It's Monday, August 4th here in Seoul. I'm Lee Soo-jin, and this is News Generation. Joining us today is Kwon Ju-yeon.
Happy Monday, Soo-jin.
Happy Monday! And also Kang Moon-ji's with us.
Good morning.
And both are here to speak on behalf of people in their 20s and 30s. So it's Monday, and as we kick off another work week, we're going to dive into a growing trend that's quietly reshaping the way many young people approach their daily lives. So instead of chasing constant excitement or productivity, more and more are leaning towards slower, more intentional routines and even embracing so-called boring days. So before we get into today's discussion, Ju-yeon, what did you do over the weekend? Were you busy or did you get a chance to relax a bit?
I did have a chance to relax during this weekend. Well, a great one. When I scroll through social media, in fact, I often see those phrases like best places to visit with your kids or, must visit spots during the weekends. Of course, it's lovely. It's great to have those fun activities, experiences with your children. But these days, so many activities feel overly stimulating compared to more calming ones. So it's like everything has to be exciting, impressive, or packed with action. And sometimes I just want the opposite. All I want is to have a calming experience with my kids. So over the weekend, we didn't go anywhere. I stayed home with my children, read books. I think we read more than 20 books this week. And I did a lot of cleaning and simply enjoyed the quietness. It felt like a small pause in the middle of a week, middle of a noisy world, and my own kind of ABHAD, which means a very ordinary day. Moon-ju will explain later, and turns out home is quite for the destination for me.
So I actually went to a train village in the Noan district, and then one of the trains were made so it's kind of like a library for kids. And I actually saw a lot of moms reading books to their kids. So I'm guessing kids like having books.
They do.
I recommend that place.
Oh, thank you so much.
Chill, so I recommend that place. What about you, Unju? How did you spend your weekend?
This past weekend might have been actually the most relaxing one I had over all this year. As a freelancer, I tend to work weekdays or weekends if the timing aligns. But since this weekend was right in the vacation season for everyone, so I also was able to give myself some relaxing moments. I binge watched a TV show that I've been really meaning to watch, and I caught up with my friends, which made my weekend more leisurely. And to be honest, even when I have some free time, I don't usually go out and enjoy some activities. I tend to just stay at my place, lying down in my bed, watching TV shows and stuff. So it was very relaxing weekend this weekend, and so spending the time how I did this weekend was very, very happy moments, and it was great opportunity for me to rediscover a sense of calm and ABHAD of mine also.
So you both mentioned something called ABHAD. I've seen it pop up on the news and social media quite often these days. I'm actually curious about this myself. So could you explain what this is exactly, why it's getting so much attention?
Yeah, definitely. So this ABHAD is a Korean saying. We call this 아주 보통의 하루. This translates to very ordinary day in English. So this reflects a lifestyle living a peaceful and calm day without major ups or downs. Interestingly, it's considered one of the defining trends of the year. And this lifestyle centers around three key elements. They are everyday life, home, and personal joy. So in the past, many MZ generation embraced high energy routines like miracle mornings or God life. We call this gatseng in Korean, where they work very hard, study diligently, and even they spend their downtimes, going to book communities or book clubs or working out at the gyms, which I really didn't understand at all. But recently, there's been a noticeable shift toward a quieter or more grounded way of living, which I always did. Home plays a central role in this trend. Is seen as the ideal space for spending time alone and recharging yourself. And when it comes to hobbies, the focus has moved away from, performative or social media driven activities. Instead, people are seeking out hobbies that bring them genuine joy, regardless of whether they're shared or seen on the social media. And lastly, I've always enjoyed staying home and embracing a slower pace. So maybe I've been the one ahead of trend all along my life.
You're a trendsetter.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's also connected to kind of broader lifestyle trends we're seeing online. There's also stuff like the tradwife aesthetic is really big, or quiet luxury has become really popular as well. So I guess it kind of reflects a trend of people are more focused on, kind of reflecting and taking some downtime instead of constantly trying to impress. And that sounds actually like it ties to another trend that we want to talk about, digital detoxing, which has become quite popular among younger people. Shin, have you come across that as well?
Yes, absolutely. Digital detoxing, that's kind of a thing and trend these days. I do think that the digital detox trend among younger generations is part of the same shift that we are experiencing right now. We live in a time of digital overload, plugged in all the time and bombarded with stimulation. And it's actually the younger age groups who are most at risk of smartphone overuse. As you can see, among all age groups, people in their 20s have the highest smartphone addiction risk at 33%. A lot of it comes down to digital dopamine. I'm talking about the quick pleasure you feel from the things like likes, the like button, messages, and endless browsing on your phone. So now more and more young people are trying to reclaim a bit of peace in their life. So things like the 2-hour phone off challenge or 30-day social media logouts are becoming surprisingly popular. In fact, my phone broke on a trip. I was in a foreign country.
Oh no.
So I don't know what to do. On my phone I had the flight information. I need to grab my taxi by booking it, but I have no information about that. So I was able to see lots of trees, slept better, and I might have become a better person.
Wow.
I mean, I think I might have started panicking a bit if I was in a foreign country and I did it.
Hours.
But I guess in the end, it kind of worked out.
It did.
You became a better person.
Yes.
Seeing those trees, I guess, that helped.
I would have been so panicked that I would have been a worse person.
But I guess seeing those trees and just like being able to find yourself.
Relaxing.
Like, peaceful minds.
So I want to provide some context for this change in values too. And why do you think so many young people today are drawn to slow, uneventful, or even what some might call boring days? In a world where stimulation is everywhere from social media to non-stop entertainment, what's behind this shift towards embracing calm and ordinary routines, do you think?
Well, that's a very good question. I reckon it's because they want to escape the pressure of hyper-productivity in our fast-paced society. In Korea, where we have experienced such rapid growth, compressed growth, there's strong cultural expectation to be busy and hardworking all the time. If you are spacing out a little bit, they ask you, what you doing? You've got to do something. You should study or work. So it's been, we're expected to always be doing something and showing off a bit. But many in the Gen Z are now mentally exhausted because of that. They're no longer chasing things that only look good. They're looking after what feels good for them. So it's not about showing off anymore. It's about finding real rest for their lives. So forget the likes, bring on the naps. So you've been rushing around all the week. So isn't it time to slow down and rest a little bit?
And now always sounds nice these days. And I think this isn't just it's not Korea. There's a global hustle culture going on these days. But I think I can really relate. Bring on the maps. I can use a nap anytime.
Bring on the maps.
So Moonja, are there any other reasons why young people are stepping away from high energy lifestyles and instead choosing slower, quieter days?
Yeah, so it's about, I think, wanting to find a genuine value within this overwhelming flood of information. So when you go into social media or on the internet, you are receiving so much information in this very short moment. So rather than focusing on external factors, the mindset aligns with the culture of self-digging, which means a growing trend of turning inward and reflecting on oneself. And it's a shift away from, constant external stimulation and toward a deeper connection with one's inner world. Yeah.
I think it's really important to reflect on yourself and help. That's what helps you grow and become more resilient. That's really important too.
Yeah, that's why I've been reflecting on myself for 28 years.
You feel like you've grown?
Yeah,
you feel more resilient?
I've grown a lot, yeah.
So to learn more, we'll be speaking with a sociology expert. What's driving the shift towards slower, more intentional lifestyles and what it says about the values of today's younger generation. And that conversation will take right after the break, so don't go anywhere.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search our channel Arirang News. Click Community and leave a comment down below. Make a new type of news with us.
Now we're going to hear from Professor Shin, a professor of sociology at Korea University and a visiting scholar at Harvard University. And I know you flew in recently, right, Professor?
Yeah, I just got here yesterday.
So thank you for joining us today. How's the jet lag? Are you doing okay?
I'm hanging in there, yeah.
So why do you think younger generations, especially millennials and Gen Zs, are so drawn to trends like ABHAD, the pursuit of a very ordinary day? What do you think is a deeper reason behind this shift in mindset?
My first response was like, why not celebrate the ordinary? Life itself is extraordinary. So what's wrong with us paying more attention to all the little details of it? Appreciating small joys of everyday life is equally important. Sure, big goals are great, but I think finding joy in our everyday life is just as essential to a meaningful life. That being said, we can put this trend into two broader social and global contexts, I think. First of all, the change itself, as it can be seen as a rebellious response or even a subtle resistance to the traditional Korean culture that has long prioritized the success above all else. Like given Koreans' traditionally success-driven and developmentalistic culture, it may seem unfamiliar or even puzzling to older generations that younger generation today are more focused on the little details of everyday life, while the older generation in Korea still hold on to the ambitions of a developing country. Younger people grew up in a different Korea, more stable, more economically advanced. So they see things differently. They don't feel the same urgency around growth and development. Secondly, this kind of change is not exclusive to Korea. I think Suji mentioned earlier that we're seeing similar patterns in many other parts of the world, especially the developed country around the world. Younger generations are placing greater value on enjoyment of the ordinary and moving away from the progress-oriented ideals of 20th century.
I see, I do agree, Professor Shin. But some experts have pointed out that while these trends offer comfort, they may also have some downsides. So what are some of the potential negative impacts this lifestyle trend could have on our society?
Well, we can interpret this as a result of kind of collective sense of frustration or falling behind. When a society is growing fast, individuals can find many opportunities to succeed by chasing their dreams. But in today's world, where the kind of a speedy growth is not really happening anymore, many young people are choosing to focus on small details of everyday joys rather than aiming for grand success that now seem harder to achieve. Taken to the extreme, and that shift could raise concerns about losing the collective motivations for progress and development, particularly when this trend combines with today's strong sense of individualism. There is a risk that people might start focusing only on what's immediately around them, and more people end up paying attention only to the small things happening in their own lives. It doesn't have to be that way, but still, this could end up with a large disengaged mass who are indifferent to the social problems and to what others are going through.
Yeah, I see, and I agree with you, Professor. And our last question for you today is, you just mentioned some potential negative aspects. So turning the gears, what do you think needs to happen for this trend to continue in a healthy or positive direction? Or are there certain values, habits, or boundaries that can help make this lifestyle more sustainable for individuals and society as a whole?
Well, I feel like it's like a little Conde style, but I know it's easier said than done, but it's really important to have a balanced perspective. Just as much we value the small details of everyday life, I know it's actually, life is not all about those shining moments, excitements, that's a little fraction of our daily life. But still, it is also important not to lose sight of our long-term goals and passion.
Thank you so much for the reminder of the importance in a shift in mindset. And thank you so much for connecting with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So we just heard from a sociology professor about how the shift towards slower, more intentional living reflects broader changes in values among younger generation. And hearing all this makes me curious about your personal experiences. Julian, let's start with you. What does finding comfort in the ordinary look like in your life?
Well, personally, for me, Abua, it's kind of a day that I would like to experience every single day. It's something I truly value. And I believe that a peaceful, uneventful day, nothing happens, is what actually builds a meaningful day, a life, day by day. So if every day is exciting and intense, you eventually burn out. But a day that feels calm, safe, and stable, that's the kind of life I want. Sometimes I stay home, read a lot, tidy up, and reflect on myself. So no drama, no rush. And I even put away my phone and my laptop for a few hours. I put that in the wardrobe for a couple of hours on purpose. That quiet time helps me reset and reconnect with who I really am. And a slow down keeps the stress away. Absolutely. Try this.
Right, and I think reconnecting with people in real life and talking to people in real life in person is also really important. Like for me, I love going out. I'm obviously hanging out with my friends, but one of my best moments during the day is just rewinding from my day and talking to my mom about my day and stuff too. So I just reconnect a bit, just putting our phones away and just talking in person is also really therapeutic as well.
Lovely daughter.
I think what we do is usually gossip, so that's good. Maybe I should have said that. But what about you, Moonju?
All right. First of all, no drama life. I couldn't even imagine myself without dramas. I could probably deal with no cell phones, but not with no drama. Anyways, as we continue reflecting on the ABHAD today, I really felt like it's just a lifestyle that I'm living right now. So the definition I shared earlier just perfectly aligns with my daily life, my whole lifestyle. But an ideal day for me is one spent very quietly at home, enjoying my favorite TV shows, binge watching, eating what I just feel like to eat. So like the simple life and just embracing the ordinary life, just my definition of ABHAD that I really prefer to live. So I think that's my preference.
So like you, I think I'm also kind of a bit of a homebody. So for me, there's certain pressure to make the best of your vacation, to go to places to do experience things. But like you said, I think to stay at home, watching TV shows, ordering something good is also an ideal vacation.
Of course, yeah.
Right. So what are some shows you've been watching these days?
I don't know if I'm allowed to mention the program. In the Netflix, there's some the romance program, the reality program that those boys and girls who haven't been dating for their whole lives just comes out in the show, and they.
Also, you're into romance reality shows these days.
Yeah, probably at this moment our viewers might know how I do love romance shows. Like every single romance show, there's no show that I've not watched at all.
Oh, really? And there's a lot of drama in those shows.
Drama,
and you did say you like
and shows. It's both.
So how's this desire for simplicity showing up more broadly in society? Are there any certain hobbies or lifestyle trends that reflect this growing appreciation for mundane routines, Tian?
Well, we are absolutely seeing this clear shift in our life that, from high energy hobbies to more calming ones like binge watching Netflix, like Moonju. We are seeing some trends like people are knitting, walking, or just staying in, reading books. In the past, even rest had to be curated. People went on these luxury, fancy hotel stays or forced getaways in order to rest well. But now, many are simply enjoying quiet time at home, alone, with no pressure to make it look impressive, no posting on their social network. So what stands out about ABHAD is that it's not about showing off on social media. It's the rest that doesn't need to be performed for others. And one interesting example is that sales of luxury toothpaste have gone up, not to impress others, but as a form of self-care. I've seen so many workers, employees in Arirang using that particular brand here. It's not just, for others, it's just for you, not for the camera. So no likes, no filters, just peace for yourself and care as well.
Toothpaste is something interesting that I didn't think would be a trend, but that is quite interesting. So what about travel? You did mention a bit of travel. So what about travel? We often see people chasing the most, like you said, Instagram-worthy or bucket list destinations, but has this ordinary is better mindset led to young people changing their approach to travel, Moonju?
Oh, definitely. So the solo trips are becoming more common, which I think very interesting. And instead of luxury hotel stays, often referred to as 호캉스, people are now preferring the 촌캉스 or the countryside retreats. And many travelers are also embracing digital detoxes voluntarily, which Juyeon just accidentally faced in her future trip. They are choosing to turn off their smartphones during their trips to fully disconnect and recharge. So interestingly, Mongolia has recently emerged as a popular destination among younger generations. What makes it appealing is precisely what might deter traditional tourists. So it lacks iconic landmarks, it has a fewer crowds, and internet connectivity is very limited there. But for the MZ generation, these very qualities offer a refreshing escape from the hyper-connected, fast-paced world that they are living currently. Yeah.
You know what? There's actually like a reality web series online. It's called 깡 통간스, so kind of hardcore countryside lifestyle that you just mentioned. And I think that was really popular too. Like the trailer racked up like 1 million views just for the trailer. And I guess that's also part of the ABHAD lifestyle. So I think that's you can tell it's really popular. So for those who are curious or want to embrace this kind of lifestyle, are there any tips or things to keep in mind, Juyeon? Are there any challenges or misconceptions people should be aware of before we're diving in?
Yes, but I think it's quite important to remember that even ABHAD is sort of a trend that we follow. So you shouldn't follow it just because others are doing that. Find what truly suits you. And when it comes to digital detox, don't go too extreme like me, breaking your phone.
In a foreign country.
Yes, in a foreign country. And try to quit every day all at once. Usually backfires, So start small. A couple of hours, a few hours offline can already make a huge difference in your life. Sometimes the best connection is, no connection at all.
And that's a great line. Best connection is no connection. So what about you, Moonju? Any advice?
Yeah, I do completely agree with Juyeon, but just to add on, while resting alone might be relaxing moments for some people, other people tend to, recharge themselves by going outside and meeting their friends and like having some activity. So that really depends on people. So just as Juyeon mentioned, just don't follow the trend just because it's a trend. Just think about yourself, deeply dive into yourself, self-thinking that I just mentioned earlier, and just enjoy your moment, not what everyone's enjoying. Yeah.
In that sense, that's similar to what we've been saying like, with the hustle culture. If that doesn't work, if the ABHAD life doesn't work for you, if the hustle culture doesn't work for you, it's important to find what really works for you.
Yeah,
which is why it's important to, I guess, reflect and just find what really suits you. And this trend towards the ordinary might seem simple on the surface, but it raises important questions about what truly brings us joy. So as we head into the week, maybe it's worth asking, what does a very ordinary day look like for you? And it's a reminder that sometimes peace and contentment can be found in the most ordinary moments. We're also conducting a program survey including News Generation until August 17th to better meet our viewers' expectations. So please visit us at www.arirang.com or the Arirang TV mobile app to share your valuable feedback. And by participating, you'll also have a chance to win Bluetooth earbuds and exclusive K-pop merchandise. And this brings us to the end of today's episode of News Generation. But News Gen will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Korea time. A big thanks to Juyeon.
Have a lovely ABHAD day.
You too, and Moonju as well.
Thanks for having me today.
And to all our viewers, thank you so much for watching, and we hope you have the best day. We are News Generation.